Hey guys! So we finished the Avatar series, which was just amazing. It was really good. I am glad you blackmailed me into watching it.
Technically, I didn't really blackmail me. It was more like a bargain, but whatever.
Well, kind of.
You tell your story, I'll tell my story.
I have no
whoever,
whatever.
whoever believes it, well, whatever.
Whatever. The point is, the show was really good. I really liked it a lot. It's probably it's definitely one of my new favorite shows. It's just, wow, this is so good. But just a quick channel update, you guys. We've had so many requests. So, we're going to move on, and we have 4 shows that we're going to start watching simultaneously. No, we're not going to upload 4 episodes a day, but basically per week you're going to get to see 4 different shows. And the requests are Samurai Jack, Ruby, Firefly, and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
I just want to get this out of the way. Lots and lots and lots of people have been asking us, are you going to watch Legend of Korra? We will eventually get to Korra, but not right away. First, we're going to watch some of these other shows. We're going to take a break from Avatar because my sister, after all that stuff that Viacom put her through, she's kind of bitter towards the whole thing. So she wants to take a break.
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, just to let you guys know, what happened was so stupid. Viacom attacked my channel. They sent these 3 strikes against my channel at 3 in the morning. And then at 8 in the morning, YouTube just deleted my whole channel. They just deleted it. I was given no chance to file any counter notification. I tried to do it via email. That was pointless. I even called YouTube. That was pointless.
That one girl who was like, she
yeah.
put you on hold, and then she came back on and was like, okay, well, if it means this, then it means you've been violated or something, or you got a violation or something.
Basically, yeah, she put me on hold. She didn't even ask me my information. She didn't even ask me what account I had. She's like, well, hold on. Well, if your channel was deleted for copyright violation, I'm like, well, I was accused of copyright infringement, infringement, but anyway, it was horrible. I just think no. So I figured that we're gonna let the channel get a little bit bigger. Hopefully it'll grow a little more, but I do want to watch Legend of Korra. I think it looks, I want to see. So I mean, I'll appreciate it for what it is. I understand that it's kind of good because we should take a break between the last Airbender series and Legend of Korra. We should take a break in between, because if we watch it too soon, I guess we'll compare it to, Avatar, and we shouldn't,
yeah.
So
please stop asking about Korra, alright, people? We will get to it eventually. Just hold your horses, okay?
We appreciate you asking us questions, though. Also, guys, get those Season 3 questions for us, because we are going to do a Season 3 Q&A for you guys. So yeah, any questions you have about Avatar, go for it. Season 3, it can be the whole series, Season 3, anything, so go for it. And as it was, we have the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Samurai Jack, Ruby, and Firefly. So I hope you enjoy the first 4 shows. We have a long list to get through, you guys, but feel free to still send us requests, because these shows are great. I'm like, okay, I'll watch them. I mean, I hope they're great. If you say they're good, I'll give them a whirl. So for now, this is like a special treat for you guys, or at least for me. We were told to watch something called the Top 11 Worst Avatar Episodes by the Nostalgia Critic. So we're gonna watch it. So I guess apparently at one point...
I've already seen it.
Okay.
I don't think you have, though.
I'm like, well, I'll watch it. Yeah, sure. I'll see what he has to say. I'm sure it'll be good. So for now, is us watching the Top 11 Worst Avatar Episodes by the Nostalgia Critic. Here we go.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. If there's anything Avatar The Last Airbender has taught us, is that there's a yin to every yang. For every good, there is a bad, and it's our duty to acknowledge them in order to keep balance. Considering how Avatar is my favorite show of all time, it only makes sense in honor of this philosophy to go over what many of you would probably see as a controversial issue, that of course being the bad episodes of Avatar. For no particular reason, I will now die. Let me go into a little bit more detail. In my opinion, there's really no such thing as a bad episode of Avatar. Even the weakest episodes have something of value and worth that goes beyond what's presented in most family-friendly shows. But if we want to acknowledge the best, it also makes sense to acknowledge the worst, so we can figure out how to continually make the arc grow stronger. So, I see no fault in looking over the not bad, but just not as good episodes of one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Critic, are you sure that's wise?
Look, we're all adults and we're going to talk about this in an adult way. So what's the problem?
Just that when people see the word worst in the title, they might think the wrong thing.
Well, that's technically what it is, isn't it? The worst of the best? I'm not afraid of a bunch of fanboys and fangirls, especially for a franchise I love so much.
Okay.
Shame your life had to end this way.
Uh-oh.
I'll be fine. So, without further ado, do you mind? I can hear it. All the way in here.
That's an even bigger shame.
Shut! Like I was saying, we're gonna look at the top 11 not as good episodes of an all-around great series. Why top 11? Because I want you to go one step beyond. So, sit back and enjoy the top 11, technically, worst episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, that was a great episode. By default. Okay.
Number 11. Boiling Rock, Part 1.
What?
In this episode, Zuka and Sokka try to break out the prisoners from their failed invasion by getting captured themselves and working with Suki to find a way out. In all fairness, very little is wrong with the premise, the development, and even the kick-ass action scenes that come from it. The problem is minor, but still a noticeable one. That being, why is there a Part 1 at all? Seriously, this could have been just one episode. In fact, if it was, it could have possibly been the most tightly written, action-packed one there ever was. But instead, we get time dedicated to planning an escape from the prison, putting that plan into motion, and ultimately having it fail. Which, of course, leads to the second planning of an escape from the prison and a second attempt to put it into motion. That one succeeds, but, well, why the hell didn't they just edit the first one out then? Were they just short an episode so they decided to stretch one out a little more? Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of character, there's a lot of development, it furthers the story, but I think...
Yeah, so why is it on the worst list?
One episode, maybe with just a tiny cut here or there. I guess in some respects it's a bit more realistic not to have the first attempt succeed, but it's also realistic that Appa would most likely eat Momo at some point, but that doesn't mean I want to see it. When the episode finally does get going with the real plan in Part 2, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
I disagree with him on this
through
one.
Part 1 that isn't bad, but isn't necessary.
Plus, it's supposed to be the most,
Probably
the
a bit,
hardest
but
prison
like
to
I
get
said,
away
this is the worst
from,
of the list,
therefore
so you'll
there
probably
has to
see a
be
couple
Part
more.
1 and a Part 2.
Well, I thought it built up the tension really well. I don't know. I disagree with that.
Number 10. The Serpent's Pass. Team Avatar has to pass through a dangerous route to get to the city of Ba Sing Se. After agreeing to take a pregnant couple with them and being reunited with Suki, the team tried their best not to get gobbled up by
that
a
was the
giant beast
episode where they
while also
almost
working
kissed
out
and
their
then they kissed
emotional
it.
problems.
Oh no.
Again, not a bad premise, but the emotional problems
That
they're
was so
working through
bitchin'. The under the
aren't as
water
engaging
scene, that
compared
was
to other
so
episodes.
cool.
For example, Sokka gets overprotective of Suki because he has lost a loved one before. But we know how it's gonna end, right? He eases up as she convinces him that she can take care of herself.
That's
Just by getting captured later. But come on, that's like setting a bowling pin. And he's still dealing with the loss of Appa, but we got a lot of that in a much more intense episode prior. So again, it just kind of feels like leftovers. Heck, even Zuko's problem seems pretty mundane.
I don't know.
Just
I
trying
guess
to get
this-
more food with Jet's gang on a ferry.
I loved how he did that with the knives.
Not that these are bad problems to focus on, but when you combine them all together and also throw in a mother giving birth, it's just kind of a slow one. Even the serpent, compared to all the other great designs they've had on the show, is not especially that memorable. I mean,
Okay,
what
I'll
was the
agree with that
combination
one.
of animals
I
and
thought
dragon
that the
from
serpent
Zelda
was
2
gonna
and
be
Mountain
like
Map?
more
Nothing's awful,
intimidating.
but
Yeah, I didn't
as
like
the
the
slower
serpent that
episodes
one. That's
go,
true.
this
The serpent
just
was actually
felt
from the original
really
pilot
slow.
for the show.
Oh
Because if
really?
that was the intention of
Okay.
the episode,
Right.
That's why they
definitely
used it.
worked.
Nothing major.
I like the Boiling Rock Part 1 better than that one. I'll say
Jet.
it.
Right
Yeah,
off the last episode, Jet has a great moral with a great payoff, but kind of a less than thrilling character to do with. Jet on the surface seems interesting enough. He's like a young Robin Hood trying to teach the Fire Nation a lesson, but goes too far when he tries to take out innocent civilians.
I loved
This
all the
creates
red
some
leaves.
interesting
The
baggage
fight
for
with
the
Aang and
character,
Jet
but
and the trees
for
was
the most part,
awesome. That was a
he's
great
kind of a
fight, though. That
good-looking
was so good.
He's there to throw another wrench into Aang and Katara's
Aw.
romance and mostly just be a good-looking boy. It's not that he has no character, it's just not very much. Again, by Avatar standards. It's not that he's annoying or unpleasant, it's just we've seen the
Yes, he
good-looking
is. He
hero
was
who
very
turns
unpleasant.
out
I
is
hated
not
Jet.
the
I wanted to
hero
punch him
and
in the
has a
face.
stubborn side that's just never going to change. Most of us know it's coming, and we're just kind of waiting for it to take its course. While the moral it teaches about innocents caught in the crossfires of war
Oh, I
is
did like
certainly
that,
a
the
strong
old man.
one, I do wish there was a slightly
The old
better
man
character
believing
to get
Sokka.
across with. If he was even more memorable, maybe this could have been an even bigger. The kid equivalent of Magneto or something. As is, he's not bad. But like the episode proved, he's certainly not everything he was built up to be.
Doesn't seem fair, does it?
Number 8.
Yeah.
Cave of Two Lovers. The romance on Avatar has always been one of the weaker points. At least for Aang and Katara, anyway. It's not that I can't see them together, it's that we have to go through a lot of
I
the
did
same
struggle with
cliches
that.
we've gotten in other romances where they'll
I
always
know
be
why.
overly awkward, which
This is gonna
leads
be,
to
like,
a
horrible on
misunderstanding,
my
which
part.
leads to them being angry at each other, and of course, leads to them both realizing they were wrong.
That
Say
moment was
directed by
cute.
Gary Marshall, and we got a wrap. In this episode, we go through most of that in a setting called the Cave of Two Lovers. On the one hand, I'm kind of glad all the romantic comedy cliches were kind of gotten out in this one episode, but still, I don't think you needed them to begin with. Falling in love is interesting
loved
enough
that
without
scroll,
having to
that
feel you
animation.
always
That
have
was
to
really
throw in
great.
this
That was a
constant
neat little
bickering.
thing.
This continuing formula of the couple that argues all the time but then somehow gets together in the end. I mean, why does there have to be so much bickering in so many romances? Don't they know that's what marriage is for? We all know they're going to get together, so I never got
And
why
I love
they
that's
tried
my
to drag
favorite
it out as
color.
long as they
That
did.
those right
They
there,
could get
those
together
crystals.
early
Oh,
on.
I
There's
love
nothing
that
wrong
color.
with it.
I just
Have them be a couple afterwards. Work through relationship stuff that would happen after you decide to be a couple. Come on, there's other areas to go with this. And granted, it's not Office bad, but it has those romantic comedy trademarks that Avatar just seems to be above. But still, when a nice scene does play out, it does seem legitimately nice, and we do see Sokka deal with this world's interpretation of, well, hippies. So it's by no means false. But I think this couple can definitely be strong enough without the Julia Roberts tropes. And God help you if you actually make Katara laugh that way.
It's because Aang is shorter than Katara. There, I said it. That was a big reason why.
Water-bending
I'll admit
next.
that.
After
I mean,
making
it's
their way
tall.
to the
I
Northern
know,
Water Tribe,
but-
Katara is horrified to
He gets
discover that they don't teach women and girls how to fight, but only how to heal. So she faces off with the prejudice of Aang's new master to show sisters are doing it for themselves. I never know how
I
to feel
love that,
about
Katara.
this.
You're not gonna knock
On
me
the one
down. I
hand,
love
yeah,
that.
there's
That was
always gonna
such a
be
great
people
Katara
or cultures
moment.
who are gonna be prejudiced about anything. Gender, race, appearance, whatever. So it makes sense to stand up against that. On the other hand, isn't the message done better if instead of preaching about what you want to see, you just show it? Growing up as a little boy, I always loved Gosalyn from Darkwing Duck and Babs from Tiny Toons. I didn't care that they were girls, and that's because the show didn't care either. They were just funny characters that were part of the group, so I never had any
That's a
problem.
good point.
However, when the trope of girls proving they can do what boys can do comes in, I always feel like it's making the character more a statistic than a person. And Katara is definitely not that. Neither her gender nor any prejudice against her was her identity, so this plotline didn't seem especially needed. As a kid, if the people in the world you love accept something, it's more likely you're gonna accept it too. But, again, on the other hand, we do know all this bullshit does happen in the world, and there's always going to be idiot douchebags out there who enforce it, so it's probably good to be prepared for it, right? It's hard to say what the best route to take is, but with this episode, we all know exactly what that route is going to be. She's going to win him over, and of course, he's going to teach her in the end. Even if you are going to take this road, isn't there a slightly
But he was with
different
the
way you
Gran.
could
I thought
do
that
it?
was a nice
Some
little touch.
variation, something we
That was
didn't
so
see
cute.
coming. No, we did get some great water-bending action, great shots of the city, and hey, it's still these great characters being great characters. I guess all I'm looking for is a little bit more variety in the message, or at least the teaching of the message. But again, I still got to see Katara do what Katara does, and it's pretty awesome. So I can't complain too hard.
You can't knock me down.
Yeah, that line. That was great.
Number 6. Sokka's master. This actually ties into the same argument I had with the last one, only this time it's a bit of a different prejudice. Sokka feels bad because he's not a bender like Aang, Katara, or Toph. Because of this, he feels totally useless. So he finds a master to teach him the art of sword fighting and being a great fighter. He even manages to put a sword made from a meteorite together. So now he never has to feel left out ever again.
I
The strange
enjoyed
thing
that
about this
episode,
is
personally.
that
I
in
enjoyed it.
previous seasons, they've tried to convince us Sokka had a point. And in my opinion, they succeeded. Sokka was more than just the comic relief. He was the idea guy, the one who thought out of the box, the one who at times could be a little too nutty, but always came through with what he needed to come through with. He even already had a weapon, his trusty boomerang, and we all associated it with him. So the
Boomerang
idea of
guy.
acting like he had no part in everything that was going on didn't seem necessary. He was important, not just for laughs, but for strategic planning. And he was good at it. Great even. So this whole episode about him trying to feel redeemed and valuable didn't really pay off because we already thought he was. Again, it's drawing attention to a
That didn't
prejudice
seem like that
you
was
probably
this
weren't
episode.
prejudiced against and
Yeah,
possibly
no.
didn't even
Sokka
know
was doing
was
it
a
for
thing.
himself, not
Sokka's
to-
fine, no
not to
improvements
prove
needed.
anything.
It's
Yeah,
almost
that's
like the
true.
creators
He
were
was just going through a
anticipating a
moment where he
backlash
just-
for him that, as far as I know, never came.
I
Who
disagree
can't
with
love
this
Sokka?
one, too.
Sokka's great. Never change for anyone, big guy. Keep it real.
If anything, Sokka the Painted Lady was more annoying.
Number 5.
The schedule obsession he had in that
The
episode.
swamp. A lot
Oh,
of
I
things
didn't
are
like this
hinted at
episode.
in this episode, but
Yeah,
many of them don't turn
I was-
out coming very far. The team is
There
lost in
was
the
that.
swamp
The
that
swamp
gives
was
visions
dick.
of the past,
Made
present,
Katara
and even
cry.
future. While trying to figure out what it means, they're also trying to outrun a couple of swamp rats who want to eat their animal companions for dinner. The ending is definitely interesting as it delivers a message about how all things are connected,
Gonna
and to
make
its
an
credit in a
awful
very
lunch.
creative way. But there's one
No.
major problem. You're in the swamp. A disgusting, dark, bug-filled, gloomy-ass swamp. Who
Yeah.
the hell wants to be in a swamp? That isn't any fun. Couldn't this be like a nice forest or a creepy forest or I don't know, just anything but a swamp? Do we really have to focus on this world's version of Duck Dynasty? I think we can survive without that. We also get the return of Zuko as the Blue Spirit, as well as haunting memories from Katara and Sokka's past, but none of them
Oh
seem
yeah, that
especially
part.
go
That's the
far
part I was
enough.
talking about.
The only thing that really plays a big part is Aang seeing a vision of Toph, who would eventually become his Earthbender teacher.
Oh
But
yeah,
aside
that was
from
so
We're
cool.
just stuck in this nasty-ass swamp. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of it is don't judge a book by its cover, and honestly, they did get a lot more wisdom and entertainment than I would have thought they would have in this environment, but
Katara was so
yeah,
badass
the Avatar
there,
version
though.
of Deliverance, not a fan.
I didn't like that episode, so yeah, I won't argue with him on that.
Yeah.
The Painted Lady.
Yeah,
We all
oh
kinda
man,
cringe when we
totally.
hear an episode of anything is going to be about the environment. And yes, the environment is important, save the earth, all that good stuff, but let's face it guys, it's so rarely done well. Truth be told, there's only
Yeah,
two
I agree
animated
with that,
shows I
okay.
can think of that handled it with any subtlety or intelligence. Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm not even joking, there actually is a subtle environment message in there. Much better than other show! And of course, Avatar. The whole show definitely has a strong tie to nature. Hell, the nations are named after the 4 elements. But it was never rubbed too much in your face. That is, with the exception of this. While no way as bad as other environmental messages, why did the show feel they needed one addressing pollution and saving the Earth? The show's already
I thought it
kind
was
of been doing
important
that
because
with
it was
its
showing how the
subtlety.
Fire Nation's
isn't it?
hurting itself.
Katara's concerned because while they're not supposed to
That's it.
This was a
interfere
Fire
with the Fire
Nation
Nation
village.
yet, a village
Oh,
is
yeah, that's
starving
right.
and losing their home to pollution. So she disguises herself as the spirit of the river.
I
known
loved
as the
her
Painted
face
Lady, to
tattoos.
feed
I thought
and
those
control
were
all
pretty.
those who
I
need.
enjoyed
It
it.
brings up a
Should've
good
kept
debate on how far does one go before interfering with other cultures, but like many of you, when you see a big bad factory spewing sludge and young kids who control the elements try to help, I only think of one thing.
Yeah,
as
Captain
most
Planet.
environmental episodes of family shows go, this one is not honestly that bad. But compared to what the rest of the show had been naturally giving us all this time, this one's just a hint too obvious.
You wouldn't mind keeping that a secret, by the way, would you? No problem.
Yeah, I could have
Number
done
3.
without
the headband. Now I'm just gonna say it, Avatar. Really? Really? Of
I
all
liked
the
it.
movies for Avatar to joyfully
I thought this
rip
was
off, we
yeah,
get a
I thought it
bizarre
was cute. I
version of
loved it when Aang and
Footloose.
Katara danced. Like,
Footloose? Aang and the
I
gang
thought that
has
was
to sneak through
sweet.
the Fire Nation dressed as civilians, but Aang gets picked up by a school, and sure enough, he's now getting an education. The only downside is the kids aren't allowed to have fun. What to do? Throw a party inviting all the kids and show them it's okay to enjoy yourself, be silly, and of course, even dance.
hell yeah, it is. That's why I like that
This
episode.
even exists. I mean, Lord, Avatar does Footloose. It's just so strange that you know the creators of this just had to do it. But, dude, this is the second episode of the last season, and the last one was pretty heavy. This is the follow-up we're given?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, okay, maybe you need something light after so much drama, but this is really light and really
No,
friggin'
not really.
corny. Yeah,
If you
Avatar
think
has had a
about it,
lot
it's
of
not
corny
that.
moments, but this
Because,
is
you know,
throwing a
it's-
prom in the heartland
You're
of your
getting a
enemy.
look at how
I don't
Fire
know,
Nation
isn't
is
this just a
raising
little...
kids.
Really? Footloose?
Yeah, and also
Megan,
too, there's the
Megan,
classroom. It
Footloose?
showed how they would
On
like
top of
mess
doing
with
the
like their
obvious
history
follow your
books, like their
dreams message,
altered
it does give
his
us a nice
version of
chance to
history,
see
you know?
again that not all the
I
Fire
don't
Nation
know.
is made up of
Eh,
evil soldiers.
I didn't
there
think
are
this
normal
episode was
people with
that
normal
bad.
kids, and
Maybe it's by
unlike the ones
default, but
before,
whatever.
we get to live a bit of that gentleness rather than just see it. It's cute, it's innocent, but if I told someone this was my favorite all-time show and this was the episode they saw, they think I was fucking mental. If you like seeing Avatar do Footloose, that's fine. It's not like I can't see why, it's just... Footloose?
Oh, leave Footloose alone, you big boy.
Confession, I've never seen Footloose.
Neither.
Bato of the Water Tribe. When I first saw this, it was my least favorite episode. Why? Because I felt it went against everything that Aang was. Our team comes across an old friend from the Water Tribe named Bato.
I agree with that. I
As
didn't
Bato
like this
recommends
episode
them to
much
look
either,
for
I
their
guess.
father, Aang finds a
got
letter
mad
from
at Aang in this
exactly
one.
him, Sokka and Katara's dad. Afraid Sokka and Katara will leave him, he actually hides the letter, destroying the possibility of them being reunited. I couldn't believe it when I saw this episode. This is Aang. Friggin' Aang, who destroyed this opportunity for his two best friends whom he owes everything to for seeing what's left of their family. It didn't feel like him. I know he's a kid and kids make emotional mistakes, but they've established him as being smart and sensitive. He grows up in an environment that is nothing but
Oh, that's
this.
beautiful.
With everything that Aang's character seemed and what he was taught, this just didn't seem like him. It seemed downright alien. Even Sokka and Katara seemed a little harsher than usual, but to be fair, it's kind of hard to blame them. This was a pretty big deal. Now, with that said, there are a lot of good elements looking back on it. We got to meet June the bounty hunter,
Yeah, I was
there was
gonna
still
say,
some awesome
that
fighting,
awesome
and
lady
it does, I
June.
guess, cement them as a family unit. It's the only time, though, I've ever seen this character not feel like the character. Which I suppose is good, seeing how lots of shows make that mistake often, and this one only slips up once. Some good fighting and still an overall good message, but man, I will never get that choice.
Yeah, June was a redeeming part of that episode, though. I did like the June part.
And the number one.
It better be
worst
The Great
episode of-
Divide.
Who are you kidding? You know it's the Great Divide.
Yes, I hated that episode. Oh, that episode made me
Yep,
mad.
the universally hated episode by practically every Avatar fan. It doesn't
Yep.
connect much to the grand story, it doesn't further much character, and it's considered by many to be a complete waste of time.
The great
So, is
filler,
it
somebody
really as
called
bad
it.
as
Do you
all
remember
that?
that?
Well, let's take a look at the setup. Two feuding tribes find they have to cross through a canyon called the Great Divide, and Aang decides to help them through it. Trying constantly to be the peacekeeper, all the tribes can do is bicker, complain, shout, yell, and blame each other for everything. And I hope you're a fan of that because that is literally what takes up the majority of the episode. After listening to, 24 minutes of this, Aang finally lets them know that their feuding was all based on a bogus history. That this great big warring feud was actually based on two little kids fighting over a ball. And that's actually a pretty funny idea. The tribes decide there's no reason to hate each other and that the honor they were fighting for can be reached if they all decide to forgive. The catch? Aang is a fucking liar.
You could call it lying.
What?
You
Yeah.
made the whole thing up. You did not. That is so wrong.
It is wrong.
And good lord, remember how we talked about breaking character in the
disagree.
last
These people
one?
deserve to
Where in
be
the
lied
peaceful
to.
airbender philosophy of balance and truth does it say just make shit up? If you can't find the best route, just lie about it. No harm done. So, not only do you have an episode that's mostly complaining and arguing, even among the main characters, but you also have what would have been a clever message about prejudice reduced down to if someone's a racist, lie your ass off. Sheesh, we could have had something if Aang just stopped talking and the two separated, but straight up making up a story explaining years of real hurt? This is a weird message they're trying to convey. I'm not even sure what you're supposed to take out of it. Sometimes lying is good, the needs of the short-term solution outweigh the needs of the long-term solution. The truth will set you free only when it's convenient. This episode was so hated that even in the series recap, they act out the scene pretending like it never happened.
Look, it's the Great Divide, the biggest canyon in the Earth Kingdom.
Let's keep flying.
It's clunky, it's misguided, it's confusing.
That was really,
Much like
really
the Great
funny, though. That was
Divide,
brilliant.
It's a great mess.
Let's keep flying.
But even with that said, I still don't think it's a bad episode. Because I still stand by that there are no bad episodes. Even at its weakest, Avatar was fantastic. Because no matter what, it always had great characters, great story, great animation,
Agreed.
and the ability to take children and adults 100% seriously. It's a show unlike any other we've ever seen. Yes, there's a lot of things that aren't good in The Great Divide, but that animation is still great. I still like following these characters. I still like hearing their performance. I still want to see where the story is gonna go. That's the incredible whole that the show has. Even when it's not great, there's still great things in it. And that's why Avatar will always be one of a kind.
Yeah.
And seeing this is all about keeping the grand balance, it only makes sense next week to do the top 11 greatest Avatar episodes. There. Will that calm you the fuck down?
I don't know, Critic. There's still 2 minutes left in the time card. Something could still go wrong.
Yeah, like there's somebody out there who could possibly do something bad to you.
Oh, yeah. What are people gonna do? Complain on message boards? Write mean comments? Show me one person who would actually be crazy enough to cause me physical
Okay,
harm
who is
because
it?
of this list.
You're giggling. Okay.
Sir, I just received word from the Avatar fanbase. They say the Nostalgia Critic has disgraced the franchise by doing a top 11 worst episodes list. How do you wish to respond?
Oh!
1 week's time. And I look forward to winning back the fan base. Forever.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh, what a good sport he is too. Oh. Okay, that's cool. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. All right, that was a fun little twist ending there. Not even a twist, but that was a funny ending. When he said, there are technically no bad, all of them are good. They're just not the best of the series. Okay, I agree with that. I don't agree with necessarily all of his choices, but yeah, a lot of them I was like, yeah, I agree with that. No, that was pretty good. Okay, so there's a part 2. I want to see Dante Bosco go.
Yeah, hurry up and watch it.
Yeah, okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching this with us. Okay, bye. You didn't wave goodbye.
I never wave goodbye. Wait, that's a lie. Why did I say that? That's
I don't
weird.
know.
Yeah.